Welcome to this video in which we'll be looking at the MIT Sloan School of Management. So in case you're looking at applying to MIT this year, then you've come to the right place, right? So first let's look at the MIT Sloan MBA program. The first thing is when you think of MIT, you think of technology, you think of the focus that they have in the engineering school. And if you think that the MBA is isolated, it's not, because you have to understand it's a university system, correct? So in a lot of ways, the technology programs, the departments that you have, you can actually take courses, right? So even if you're pursuing an MBA, you can take electives from the other departments. And plus, being in the campus, MIT, you just have a different way of looking at things, right? So the technology focus, a big plus. The second thing, related to what I said earlier, MIT Sloan is one of those very few programs where there is a very condensed core. You just have the first semester where you're required to take the core courses, and the rest of it can be based on electives. You can go and pick and choose whatever you like, right? So this flexibility, very few schools allow. So I think that's another huge plus for you when you're considering the MIT MBA program. The third is, I think, in terms of the international flavor it has, so it probably has the maximum number of international students for any top MBA program, correct? So that is again a huge plus if you're looking at diversity among US MBA programs. And finally, maybe because of the tech focus, MIT also has a strong, focus on entrepreneurship. In fact, I read somewhere that if all the companies out of MIT were to be a country, it would have the fifth largest GDP in the world, right? That is the kind of history of entrepreneurship that you have in one single place, correct? So definitely a huge place for people who come from a tech background. If MIT has been something that you've been dreaming of, then you should be looking at the MBA program. Now let's get to the actual part of the essays. So what MIT has done, and this is something that it's done consistently for the last few years, is that instead of asking you for a proper essay, it asks you for a cover letter. Okay, and I'm just going to read out the prompt to you. MIT Sloan seeks students whose personal characteristics demonstrate that they will make the most of the incredible opportunities at MIT, both academic and non-academic. We are on a quest to find those whose presence will enhance the experience of other students. We seek thoughtful leaders with exceptional intellectual abilities and the drive and determination to put their stamp on the world. We welcome people who are independent, authentic, and fearlessly creative, true doers. We want people who can redefine solutions to conventional problems and strive to preempt unconventional dilemmas with cutting-edge ideas. We demand integrity and respect passion. Now you see a lot of it, right? So don't get lost in it. Just read it a couple of times. Make sure you kind of get a sense of what it is. But the question really is 300 words or fewer. You need to be writing a letter, a cover letter, seeking a place in the MIT Sloan MBA program. Your letter should conform to a standard business correspondence, include one or two examples that illustrate why you meet the desired criteria above, and be addressed to Rod Garcia, Senior Director of Admissions. Now, first of all, what do you mean by standard business correspondence? Well, you need to say to Mr. Rod Garcia, Senior Director of Admissions, MIT, correct? And then you want to write a letter. Now, what is the difference between writing a letter as opposed to writing an essay? You are writing to a person, correct? So make sure that by the way, the 300 words excludes this to and the salutation and dear sir and all that. It excludes that. The actual meat of it, you need to be talking about something more than what I can get from your resume. Think about it. They have your resume, they have your application form, they have your recommenders, they have your GMAT score, they have your undergraduate transcripts, they have everything about your work experience. So do not try to repeat what you already have. Pick that one thing about you, or maybe two things about you that you want them to know, right? Perhaps you are an innovative thinker. Maybe you are a problem solver. Maybe you believe in problem solving under frugality, or in India, as they say, jugaad, correct? What have you done? Maybe it's a small motor pump that you took out that engine and used it for something completely different, right? Showcase through examples. One thing about MBA applications is always give examples. Otherwise, it is just going to be empty words, right? So first, list down 4 or 5 traits that you think define you well. Correct? So you can talk about innovation, you can talk about risk taking, you can talk about leadership, whatever you want to pick, right? Or you can talk about team working. Pick, list out and say, I'm going to pick 2 of them because I have 300 words. There is only so much I can say in 300 words. And those 2 flesh out the details, right? Tell about why you are unique, okay? And what is it that you hope to get through the MBA program? Like, what is it that you want to learn from this program? So it's very important that you pick those 2 things. Now that you have told them who you are, you also need to be talking about what specific things at MIT excite you. Now that you are this person, correct? What at MIT really excites you? Why do you think this gels so well with who you are as a person? For example, if you spoke about innovation, then well, you have come to the mecca of innovation, right? You have come to MIT, but you have to be very specific. Academic, non-academic pursuits that you want to get out of the program, right? You may not really want to get into it because you have just 300 words. You may not really want to get into your post-MBA goals and very specifics over there, but you may want to mention, this is who I am, this is what I'm going to get from the MIT program, and allude to your post-MBA career, correct? So without getting into the depths, you can mention something about that program. So that's really how the 300 words have to be structured. You can be creative in the way you want to express yourself, but make sure that you want to pick just 1 or 2. One mistake that people do, they try to talk about 10 different things that they do, right? Just loses the focus of your message. So don't do that. 2 maximum. Now, here is a very interesting thing. So obviously, apart from that, you also have your resume. You have the 1-page resume, the chronological format, correct? Now, coming to this, the other part that is interesting about the MIT application is the video essay. I'm going to read out again. Please introduce yourself to your future classmates via a brief 60-second video statement. This video will be used for application purpose only and will not be shared. So don't worry, it's not going to come on YouTube. And they have given various things. It should be a single take. There should be no editing, right? So what do you do when you want to create a video statement? Now you're introducing yourself, correct? Now what you wrote in a cover letter is very different. You are not going to introduce to yourself to your classmate by saying, I am an innovator or I am a problem solver, correct? You want to talk something about you that is perhaps a little more personal. Maybe you want to talk a little bit about what you expect from the whole MBA program, correct? Remember, you have 60 seconds, right? 60 seconds, way too little. I mean, if you actually try to count 60 seconds, try saying something, right? If you have a very long South Indian name, maybe 60 seconds gets consumed over there. So you ought to be very prudent in what you're saying. So I would say, be casual. You just need to have a simple phone, right? Today, phones come with very good picture quality, video quality. So make sure that you keep the phone in front of you. As you can see over here, I'm sitting in my desk. This is where I work, right? So I just place the camera in front of me. So keep it very simple, nothing too fancy. Make sure that the lighting is bright. That's another mistake that people do. Don't keep the light source behind you so you look like Gautam Buddha, but doesn't really showcase your face. The light source should be in front of you so that your face is looking clean. Make sure that your surroundings are clutter free. As you can see, I've not kept a lot of things, but I usually have my pad and my pen and everything lying on the desk. So keep it clutter free. Make sure that the voice is being captured very clearly, right? Again, your phone camera, your phone microphone should be able to do that job. So don't really sweat too much on that part. That's pretty much the basics, right? Now, when you're speaking, take as many, retakes as possible, right? Keep saying the same thing. You should do it at least 20 to 30 times in front of a mirror before you actually come in front of the camera, right? And once you do that, even in front of the camera, take as many retakes. And initially when you start, you'll become very conscious. You know how I know? I've done this and I've been in your shoes. I know you get very conscious when you see the camera. It's somewhere, capturing this moment for posterity and you feel, a bit stressed. But if you keep doing that multiple times, you'll get a hang of it, right? What is it that you need to speak? Talk about yourself, as I said, be casual, talk about your interests. You can even include a quirk. You can say that, I love gaming, right? And I, challenge all you Counter-Strike aficionados to come, challenge me for a game. Something of that sort, right? Make it up. Make yourself sound interesting. I should be able to look at the video and say, hey, this is the guy I would like to meet, right? That's really the intent of the video essay, correct? And then you have the usual ones. You have a, additional information optional essay used for either gaps in employment, gaps in academic, in your academics, or if you want to say something that you think you could not say anywhere else. But please don't try to retrofit stories that you couldn't find anywhere else over here, okay? Just because, well, I have these 2 more stories, what do? Let me just put it over here. Don't worry. Eventually, maybe when you come for the interview, you could probably pick those. Don't feel, don't feel pressured to write everything over here. All right. So I know it is not easy, especially if you have not done the video essay, can be a little tough. In case you would like us to help you with your application to MIT, please let us know. You can click on the link below, and you can also like and subscribe this channel. You please can go ahead and drop your comments. I personally respond to each and every comment, so I would love to hear from you. Thank you.